Civilization 7 was doomed long before it was launched, and I'm going to tell you why. Hey up, I'm Alex, I'm a proud Yorkshireman, and I give my take on all things Civ every single week. Knowing you guys like I do, I cannot wait to chat with you about this one down in the comments. I think the key to understanding where Civ 7's gone wrong is its context, the context in which it was designed, because Civ 7 was designed to succeed some pretty special games. Civ 6, especially if you've got all the expansions, well you do need them, otherwise it's crap, is the most complete Civ game ever. The amount of content in Civ 6 right now is absolutely disgusting. And even before that we had Civ 5, and Civ 5 still appeals to lots of players today. Generally those players that don't enjoy Civ 6 too much, maybe because they feel the graphics are too cartoony or things like the district mechanics are a little bit over the top, but Civ 5's a really popular game still that's really well balanced. And most people own and adore at least one of these. Something else you've got to remember is that the genre has been very busy over the last few years, and when Civ 7 was being designed. We've had Humankind, Millennia and Aria, just to name a few. Now obviously they've turned out to be not really Civ killers. Everyone loves throwing Civ killers around, but no, these have been nothing like Civ killers. But Civ 7 was designed in a really competitive space. So many alternatives and pressures squeezing it to be different, and those pressures have potentially ruined a few things. The first place this pressure rears its ugly head is that Firaxis always had an uphill task to convince fans to jump to Civ 7. Expectations of what Civ 7 should be were very high, and they still are high, and I'd argue that because of all the competition out there, the bar for what is expected of Civ 7 at launch was way higher than any Civ game we've seen before. Now obviously it doesn't help that they launched Civ 7 before it was finished, bit of an understatement, and then went for like a 1-2 combination punch by charging players for DLC straight away, as if selling them an unfinished game at a really high price wasn't going to annoy them enough. Throw some DLC in there. It's just like throwing a grenade in, isn't it? It's just mad. I think by now we all know the Civ cycle meme, where Civ starts crap and ends great, but the high expectations for Civ 7 combined with an historic number of legitimate alternatives means that Civ 7 has been punished for its poor launch way more than ever before. There's just no incentive for players to jump to a new game for a stupid price anymore. I mean, I did it, but I'm daft. But a lot of people haven't, and that reflects in the numbers. Civ 5 still getting like 20,000 people a day. Civ 6, on a good day, nearly 60,000 people on Steam. Civ 7's getting nowhere like that. I did a whole video on it. It's really bad. But where things really start to unravel for Civ 7 is how this pressure and the competition from other games force some of its radical design choices. And by radical I mean terrible, because they've just not worked out at all. With Civ 6 and Civ 5 there, like you're not going to beat those games on their patch. Who's going to jump from Civ 6 to Civ 7 if Civ 7 didn't offer something quite different? And I was quite vocal about this. In the lead up to Civ 7, I said a lot that Civ 7 needs to be brave, but unfortunately it's turned out to be too brave. Like when you go out drinking for the first time and one of your mates throws a punch at a big guy because he's off his face. That's too brave. That is what Civ 7 has done. It's gone too far. Things like Civ switching, ages, history and layers, it all feels like it's ripped the core out of what makes a good Civ game. And they've maybe looked to change in the wrong areas. Civ switching I think it's turned out to be a really bad idea in my view, and I know most people agree with me. But that's where it's gone wrong. It's broke the 1/3 rule that governed every Civ game that came before it. The idea that 1/3 of a Civ game should retain established systems from previous games, 1/3 should feature enhanced systems, and 1/3 should be completely new content. Instead, they've just created like 3/3 of an unpopular game. A game that went too far, and it did that because it was trying so desperately to be different because of the pressures and competition from other games in the genre. So that's why Civ 7 is struggling and has a pretty bad player count as we speak, but just how bad are those numbers? Find out by checking out the video on screen now. Anyway, cheers for watching this one, and I'll see you in a bit.